The Western gaming industry is sick. And nothing has made that clearer than Mixtape. A 3-hour walking simulator.
Wait, what? Wait, look at the dialogue at the bottom. Dude, I almost fucking bricked. What does he mean by that? Bricked. Scores are in. 10 out of 10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
That's barely interactive, with mini-games designed to be impossible to fail. Rated M for mature, with ESRB descriptors including boners sticking out.
Oh shit, okay, maybe we know what he meant by when he said I'm bricked. Alright. Oh man, what the hell?
And sexually deviant, and kinda deep-throating it and gagging.
What is it, the rating summary? What?
For characters who are high school teenagers.
Oh,
a creative director whose
hell
proudest
no,
technical
man.
achievement is a saliva particle system for a tongue-kissing scene.
Not the
between riders.
braces.
A story that frames a father wanting his daughter to succeed as the villain. A straight-A athlete abandoning achievement for parties as liberation, weakness, and aimlessness, romanticized
get
as
caught on fire.
authentic selfhood. A same-sex relationship between teenagers as the emotional core. This is the game that just received the only perfect 10 IGN has given all year.
All year. Are you serious? I mean, that's a rough one.
While sitting as the highest.
I would love to see how games come out for the rest of the year if anyone else gets a 10. I was like, I already know this is bullshit. I seen this stuff a decade ago. Like a decade ago, they were talking about Rotten Tomatoes is basically like rigged and everything like that. Like they're not fair. People are constantly like giving them incentives to give them a higher rating, right? Same thing with award shows. This has been going on for a long time.
Rated game on OpenCritic.
Number one, best games of 2020 is Mixtape, Lost and Found Co., Pokemon, Pokepia, Resident Evil, Rectum, Eugenics.
We've already covered just how absurd the institutional press bias around this game's coverage has been in the last video, so we won't go into that again here. But since then, new information has surfaced that makes this whole thing much worse than we thought. It's been blowing up across social media, and I think every gamer needs to see it.
Were the journos paid to shill for Mixtape or simply sucking up to the daughter of a... Both. I mean, it's always been shilling out for this stuff, but yeah.
Because the company behind this game is Annapurna Interactive, founded by Megan Ellison, the openly queer daughter of Larry Ellison, co-founder of Oracle Corporation, a man who, in September 2025, briefly became the richest person.
He beat our boy
Earth,
out?
with a net worth peaking near $400 billion. Who,
I think he's
even
back
after
on top,
market
though.
fluctuations, remains worth well over $200 billion. One of the wealthiest human beings who has ever existed.
Damn.
With his children reportedly receiving $200 million trusts on their 25th birthdays.
Million. Dude, imagine you get the privilege to spawn in, right? And on your 25th birthday, you get $200 million, right? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like a lot of people are like, wow, I wish I was born with that. Like, yes, that sounds nice, but just because you have money does not mean you got good spawn RNG. I want you to really think about that when you step off the train today.
Which is relevant, because Ellison founded Annapurna in 2011, the same year she turned 25. After dropping out of USC Film School in under a year with no...
Wait. So she got the bag and then she dipped out of school. She's like, all right, mask off. I'm out this bitch.
No formal business education. From which point, what followed is one of the most ridiculous...
Dang, and no business education at all? You got $200 million with no business education. Bro, I feel like if that was the case, if I'm got that much money, I'm like, bro, you guys have to at least get a degree in something. And if you don't know, you're getting one in business, right? If you're going to have that much money, right? At least a business degree.
Runs of sustained failure in modern entertainment history. Her first
Setting
distribution
records for
effort
failure.
was Catherine Bigelow's Detroit, a film about white police officers killing black men during the 1967 riots, which flopped immediately at $24 million on a $40 million budget. From there, it only got worse. Vice budgeted at $80 million.
They started off like a roller coaster, but they start off at the very peak.
When insiders said it couldn't cost more than 35, while losing at least 15 to 20. If Beale Street Could Talk, losing 8 to 10. Destroyer, losing 7.
They got the woke factor in here. Woke factor medium to high. Oh my God. They got the woke factor is over 9,000.
The Sisters Brothers costing $40 million while returning barely $1 million at the domestic box office. Where'd You Go, Bernadette, opening in 2,400 theaters to $3.45 million. The cumulative damage, according to Deadline, being $200 million in costs.
So there it is. There's Daddy's money. That shit has left the building.
While the entire slate combined for less than $40 million back. Which means for every dollar that came back from audiences, roughly 5 had been spent trying to reach them. Compounding this,
bro, she's driving with her eyes closed. This bitch can't even see the road.
The internal collapse matched the external one. Her CFO, alongside her president, leaving at the same time. Her head of production let go. Soderbergh losing $23 million in funding 12 weeks before cameras were set to roll. Alexander Payne left hanging after she offered to partner on downsizing, then went silent, while ducking Brad Gray's calls at Paramount for weeks. Her own advisor, Skip Britton.
Uh-oh, bad guys caught pulling up. Turn the music down. Open your eyes, for God's sake.
One of the most respected in Hollywood, walking away, reportedly because she wouldn't listen. Insiders describing her to The Hollywood Reporter as mercurial. Until, when things got bad enough, she retreated to Lanai, her father's private island in Hawaii, to regroup.
Pull up the GPS location on this shit. Man, imagine, right? Most people, man, they're lucky if they got the opportunity to start one business in their life. And if they fail, it's like, man, you're done. You're probably not going to be taking that risk again, and you probably can't afford it financially. Imagine you have a sleigh ride down a hill, crashing into every tree. Boom, 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 one after another. It's like, well, at the end of the day, I'm taking a vacation back to the old private island. Damn. Imagine, dude.
Which is the professional track record of the person behind the top-rated game on OpenCritic. Those films all have something in common, though, because the losses weren't random incompetence. They were ideologically consistent. Detroit, about systemic...
Yeah, is the woke factor very high, high, medium, high. Damn, man, they're redlining this shit, dude. You can't redline it. You're gonna blow your gasket, blow your engine block.
Racism in policing. Vice, a political takedown of Republican power. Sorry to bother you, an anti-capitalist satire by activist director Boots Riley.
The way your father made so much money off capitalism, yeah, and the reason you got 200 million, yeah, fuck that shit. Okay, don't you have money because of capitalism? Like,
with even that, Annapurna's only profitable film from that era, returning reportedly minimal profit. Nimona, acquired after its studio shut down, specifically because, in Ellison's own account, she liked its LGBT elements. A Strange Loop, a musical about a young black queer artist grappling with identity that won the Tony for Best Musical, while on the gaming side, the same playbook runs from Gone Home through The Artful Escape.
Bro, what are they doing? They're fucking driving reckless.
Tape. Every major title
How are they
built
driving?
around identity as
They're honking the horn going down the street.
central axis, which, once you see the pattern across films, games, theater, makes the picture very clear. This isn't a businesswoman who happened to lose money. This is an ideologue with infinite capital who uses that capital to fund identity politics project.
Bro, wait. In the game, that looks like the car ran out of gas, bro. Like, gas tank identified as empty.
Where losing money isn't a failure of the model, but irrelevant to the model. Because the money was never supposed to come from the market. it was always going to come from Daddy. Exactly as Variety confirmed.
So basically, the idea is I don't really care if the stuff fails. I just want to get my ideology. I want to spread the ideology around. Right. I mean, at the end of the day, look, if you want to make your crappy games, go for it. Like, you want to waste your money? Go for it. Right. I don't really care. I can't relate to, I don't really have an interest in it. But you want to make games that lose money? I'm not going to stop you. Right.
When an insider was asked why these losses had been tolerated, with the answer on the record being, have you ever seen a parent with their kids? Which brings up, have you ever seen a
wait.
With the answer,
they asked her, why have these losses been tolerated?
When an insider was asked why these losses had been tolerated, with the answer on the record being, have you ever seen a parent with their kids?
Fucking the most Joker reply. Why have these financial losses, been tolerated? Have you ever seen a parent with their kid before? Yo, what the fuck does that even mean?
Which brings us to the financials. Because by 2019, the whole thing had spiraled to the point where Annapurna defaulted on over $200 million in debt.
Wait, if she defaulted on 200, she had 200 million. Is she not using her money?
Burned through most of a $350 million credit facility with Chapter 11 on the table. The banks involved, JP Morgan alongside Wells Fargo, furious because according to Deadline sources, bankers felt betrayed on account of Larry Ellison's family office having been portrayed as backing the loans in the marketing documents, implying the family stood behind the venture. Except when the actual contracts were signed, there was no formal commitment from Larry Ellison, meaning the banks had lent hundreds of millions, partly on the implied guarantee of a centi-billionaire who technically hadn't guaranteed anything.
So they gave the loan like, okay, we got this. We'll give you the loan because it was like, we know who Daddy is, right? We know who her daddy is. So and then it's like turns out, I mean, maybe they should have read the fine print on that one. I'm not gonna lie, but it's like they're like, yep, you're on your own. Larry, who?
So when the debt went bad, Ellison submitted what Deadline called a last and final offer at 80 to 85 cents on the dollar, forcing the banks to absorb a 20% loss, not because they wanted to, but because Ellison holds billion-dollar personal credit lines with both institutions.
Oh, wow. So it's like, let's not piss off the father by harming the daughter's horrible business decision. Imagine you owe like an 80%, right? She only paid back 80% of the loan, dude. It's like, man, you could never give it. It's like, imagine you take a loan out for a car, man, and it's like, here, let me buy $100,000 car, and then it's like, here, I paid back 80,000. Is that good enough? Man, you've got me fucked up. But like they had to bite it because it's like, what are we gonna do? Like piss off like a very high value customer? So it's like you have to eat it. It's like I only get 2 pennies back from a year of savings account.
As Deadline sources put it, putting the daughter of one of the richest men on the planet into bankruptcy would have been political suicide for the bankers involved. Because you don't alienate a man worth hundreds of billions over his daughter's projects if you want to keep doing business with Oracle. So the banks swallowed it. Annapurna survived.
Banks didn't swallow that shit. They deep throated that damn 20%. Yeah.
Company that wouldn't exist without the gravitational force of one family's wealth bending the financial system around it lived to see another decade, somehow. Parallel to all of this, Ellison had also launched a gaming publishing division in 2016 called Annapurna Interactive, extending the...
So they founded this before the movie side went bankrupt, or basically went in the trash can.
Same ideological playbook into a new medium. Gone Home, The Artful Escape, Mixtape,
no woke meter
narratives, published alongside titles like Outer Wilds, Stray, what remains
I've heard of Outer Wilds before. I'm not familiar with the others.
Finch that gave the division enough critical credibility to mask the same identity politics obsession running underneath, alongside the same financial dysfunction. Except the team running it had watched the film side's dysfunction for years. The losses, the debt, the mercurial leadership, the retreat to Daddy's Island. They'd seen what Ellison's management produced when left unchecked, which is precisely why, in 2024, they tried to get out. Nathan Gary, the president, alongside co-heads Deborah Mars with Nathan Vella, spending months negotiating to spin off the gaming division as an independent entity called Versat.
Dang.
A clean break from the centi-billionaire's daughter, whose film operation had burned through 200 million, while
yeah, why would you even want to be connected with that in general?
Had built something people actually respected, only for Ellison to enter the negotiations, then pull out.
So I've heard of Outer Wilds, and from my understanding, it's a pretty good game. Like, I didn't really hear, I didn't hear a lot about it, but I never heard anything like negative or anything.
Triggering what can only be described as a mutiny. Every single member of the team resigning within 2 weeks.
Dang.
Their statement to Bloomberg reading, all 25 members of the Annapurna Interactive team collectively resigned. This was one of the hardest decisions we have ever had to make.
It wasn't.
25 out of 25. Development partners left scrambling. Blade Runner 2033 in limbo. None of which mattered to Ellison.
Blade Runner 2033. It must have been, I think it was a game. I think they must have been making a game because it's the interactive side of their company. I liked Blade Runner 2049. Ryan Gosling, literally us.
Who simply replaced them, bringing back Hector Sanchez from Epic, hiring new staff, continuing operations. Because that's what infinite capital allows. It makes a full-scale mutiny feel like a staffing hiccup.
It's hard for us to imagine a life with dirty water, so we're gonna try this.
I thought Mr. Beast did. I thought he solved this.
6-year-old girl living in a rural part of the.
From there, who she brought in to replace them tells you everything about where this publisher is heading. Because earlier we mentioned that the gaming arm, despite everything wrong with the film side, still managed to publish some genuinely good games under Gary's team. Titles that weren't all ideological projects, which is partly why the division built credibility the film arm never had. But the person Ellison hired to run it after the mutiny is Leanne Loomby, who came over from Netflix in January 2025. And Loomby sat on the board of Wings Interactive, an investment fund for teams where women and gender-marginalized developers hold key positions, with a selection committee composed only of women. While currently sitting on the board of WIGI, Women in Games International, a non-profit with a no woman, no panel policy that serves women, femme-identifying, and non-binary professionals.
They cast the whole net, man. They got them all with that one. Holy smokes.
2 separate DEI organizations. Someone whose entire professional identity is built around identity politics advocacy. And it's not hard to see where this is going, with Gary's team gone and someone like Loomby at the helm. Annapurna Interactive is likely heading the same direction as the film arm. More ideological projects, more identity-first publishing.
You know these people are pissed when they make like a normal game that has like some quality to it, and it does well, right? And then they make another game that is more centered around like their ideology and stuff, and it flops. You know that's gotta piss them off, right? Like, oh, nice, yeah. This game did well. Okay, now, next one, we're gonna slip this in there, right? We're gonna make the game about this. Boom, hits the floor. Fuck, man, come on.
The approach that burned through 200 million in costs for 40 million back, now being applied to gaming. Funded.
It's like they had the good game, like they had some good games, right? But it's like okay, we got some good games, we built some credibility. Now, boom, hit him with the reach around, swap it up on him.
By Daddy, accountable to nobody. Which brings us back to mixtape itself, because this is where Annapurna's money meets the product. This walking simulator is loaded with licensed music from the Smashing Pumpkins, Joy Division, Iggy Pop, Devo, The Cure, the Jesus and Mary Chain, Lush. Licensing tracks from artists like these doesn't come cheap, and 28 of them across a 3-hour game is an enormous amount of money.
28 songs across a 3-hour game. If each song is like 3 minutes, it's like almost an hour and a half of straight music in a 3-hour game. I mean, that's if they played the full song, but that's a lot of music.
On top of that, Annapurna shipped custom press kits to journalists with functioning retro CD players and COS headphones inside. All for
this is what I'm talking about. They do. This is what I'm talking about before. They'd be like, here, let's slip a Rolex in, or let's slip some tickets to like some freaking Broadway show. Here, can you watch our movie? By the way, we got you this little gift box. Open up. I think you might like what's inside. The constant like gift giving to these freaking these deceiving review companies, right? It's almost like the people who view bot. If you don't play as a cheater, you fucking lose, man. It's like, damn. If I'm not slipping a little extra to the old Rotten Tomatoes dude, it's like, man, I mean, to be honest, half the time, and I think maybe back in the day, this was definitely the case, right? This is probably definitely a thought that people gave it. But I think now, because like no one cares about, I don't care. When I see a Rotten Tomatoes score, I'm just like, I'm like, I do not care about this. I don't care about like review people doing this. They have no credibility. I don't see how they could review something and have a different like outtake on something that I couldn't trust a random dude on YouTube to give me. Right? It's like what is his credentials that freaking Joe Schmo on a YouTube channel doesn't have? If anything, he's got more flaws because he's bought off.
3-hour walking simulator made by 12 people in Melbourne. And at some point...
Oh, it's 12 people as an indie game, and they spent a big budget on music. That's wild.
Just have to ask what you're looking at. Because when a centibillionaire's publishing operation pours that kind of money into a game that peaks at 2,000 players on Steam, while walking away with the only perfect 10 of the year, the instinct gamers had from day one, that this is an industry plant, starts looking less like instinct and more like a reasonable conclusion when you trace the money. Which raises the obvious question: what is the industry plant actually planting? And if everything we've covered in this video hasn't made it clear enough, the answer is identity politics. A billionaire's daughter who's never experienced economic hardship in her life, using Oracle money to publish entire lineups of products where she's the oppressed, and the white male gamer buying her product is the
born with infinite money. I'm feeling oppressed.
Oppressor. Because when you strip it all down, that's all wokeism is, isn't it? Collective guilt dressed up as social justice. An oppressor versus oppressed framework, where your race, your gender, your sexual orientation is all that defines you. Where the white heterosexual male carries the guilt of the dominant group, regardless of whether he's rich or poor, powerful or powerless. Where oppression has nothing to do with economics and everything to do with identity. Meaning it doesn't matter how much money you have or how little. What matters is what you are. Which is why a billionaire's queer daughter paying off $200 million through Oracle connections is the oppressed, while a gamer paying off a mortgage through 5 a.m. alarm clocks is the oppressor. Why a millionaire Middle Eastern Twitch streamer out-earning his audience 100
That's the dog guy.
can invoke racial persecution.
The dog shocker.
Why a Hollywood superstar actress can claim gender discrimination from inside a career most men couldn't dream of. That's the framework. That's what Ellison's entire catalog, from Gone Home to Mixtape, functions as a syllabus for. Cosplaying as marginalized, performing oppression as entertainment, bankrolled by daddy, crowned by the press, defended by the platform.
reminder, just because you're not personally into a game doesn't mean it's not bad. For you, right, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. I'm sure there's people who think, The Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger is bad. And you know what? If that's your opinion, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. You know what I mean? We might, but anyways, to an extension, sure. Okay, Xbox. Like, put the games on sale. You know what I mean? Instead of fries in the bag.
While the audience that pays for all of it is told to shut up, stop questioning.
I think I can't remember if I said this earlier or not, but it's like I have no people who want to make their game, spend all their money on. That's fine. I have a problem when it's like when your game fails, right? Especially repetitively, your game repetitively fails over and over again, and it's like instead of like realizing that it's like this is just not like the audience isn't there for it, right? It's like you go to like, oh, my stuff failed because everyone is racist and bigoted, and this is, it's like, no, I just don't want to watch it because I'm not relating to it, man. Your stuff is all about gender and this and that. Bro, I don't give a shit about this. I'm sorry. It's like I can't relate to it. And you say the movie's not for me. I say that's fine. Go ahead and make it, right? I'll stay in my own lane. But then you come over here and like just start calling everyone that doesn't watch it or doesn't fuck with it like this crazy insults. And then it's like you wonder why people have so much disdain and resentment to this kind of stuff.
Questioning, consume, game after game after game. That is, without a shred of exaggeration, the state of the Western gaming industry in 2026. I'll leave it there. If you got something out of this...
Bro, if I was running through a field of flowers like this, man, with ragweed and flower, my eyes would be puffed up. I couldn't breathe. God.
This video. I'd really appreciate a like, a subscribe, drop a comment if you've got thoughts. If you want to support the channel, the membership and Discord are both linked.
Wait, what the? She said, I want to try all the flavors. See what I like. Find out what turns me on,
Linked in the description.
Hey.
And thank you to everyone.
I'm not gonna yuck someone's yum, okay? Go for it.
Who's already joined. It really does.
Sounds like sexual deviant.
One last thing before I go. Quick shout to today's sponsor.
Look, I like to fuck around and lick all the ice creams, but I have a singular gift. A cause. It's a crushing responsibility.
Instant gaming. I'm sure most of you already know what a key reseller is at this point, so I won't bore you with the pitch. Just know, if you want to grab games cheaper than Steam...
That's what I'm saying. When it comes to stuff like this, man, you want to make what you want, that's fine. Go for it. But when I'm not down with it, don't insult me. I think what bothers me a lot is when you've got these reviews, man, these review companies. It's like, man, you're a pest at this point. I think Rotten Tomatoes and all these other ones, they're just like, it's like, I don't care. This is like, it's annoying, it's untrustworthy, and it's downright despicable. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed your train ride today, don't be shy. Subscribe, get your ticket so your seat will be saved, and feel free to jump into a live stream when we pull up to a station near you. And as always, I'll see you at the next station. Bye-bye.